Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. I'm just going to take a few minutes here and do another quick video update on the campaign and some more issues that I've been learning about as I go around the district. As far as the campaign goes, it's moving right along. We've got about 285 days to go until Election Day, so it's going to be a very busy, long season. But having done this before, I do recognize that I do enjoy the campaign quite a bit, so I'm looking forward to continuing that process. But it's going very well. I have been spending a lot of time in some of the newer parts of the district. So New Salem and Pelham, Petersham, Wendell, Shutesbury, and certainly Belchertown, Ludlow as well too. But I've been really going to New Salem and Petersham quite a bit lately to get signatures and get to know some people, and I've had some really good conversations. There's one thing that has come up as an issue, and I was certainly well aware of this even prior to the campaign starting because I'm sort of involved with this, but the legislature last year changed the rules when it comes to reserve police officers. They must now earn a full-time certificate. So, for example, I'm a reserve police officer for the town of Ludlow and have been doing that for a good number of years now, maybe 12 or 13 years. And I attended the academy, the Reserve Intermittent Academy, passed all the qualifications and was licensed to work as a police officer, and I have been doing that all along as a part-time support person. A lot of the smaller communities in Massachusetts rely on reserve police officers. They just don't have the budget big enough to support a full-time police force. So oftentimes they'll have maybe a full-time chief, but many of the officers who do the day-to-day work are reservists, and they have other jobs. I know many people who work for the Sheriff's Department as corrections officers are also reserves and will patrol the streets of their neighborhoods or their communities in the evening. But last year, the legislature changed that. So anyone who has a reserve intermittent certificate must go back to the academy, and it's 3 weeks in the academy, full-time in the academy, in addition to doing 2,400 hours of patrol time and taking a series of tests. So I'm actually going through that process right now myself. It's called the Bridge Academy. And it's challenging. And anybody who works a full-time job, you need to take time off of your full-time job to go to the academy to do that. And I've done that for defensive tactics, and I'm going to be doing it for emergency vehicle operation and then firearms training again. So I'm fortunate where I have vacation time, I'm able to do that for my day job to go do this. Many officers are not in that same position and are opting out from doing police work altogether. And that is putting a tremendous strain on some of our smaller communities. So I know up in New Salem, there's a lot of discussion about merging with other police departments to kind of make a regional police department. And even that is challenging because now you might have 2 or 3 communities and the response time is going to get slower because you're gonna have less officers on the street. And it's a real problem. In some of these more rural communities, they rely on state police who are kind of doing their regular patrols. And if they don't have an officer on the street, they call state police to come in and help out. That response time could be 15, 20, 40 minutes away before they get someplace. If you think about it, if you're in the barracks in Belchertown and you need to get up to Petersham, even with your blue lights on, that's going to be a 25-minute ride to get up there. And the legislature, when they put this legislation in place, I don't think they really gave much consideration to how these smaller communities were going to deal with it. So it's a real concern, not just as somebody who's going through the process myself, but for the residents of these towns. Like I said, the response time is going to be significantly impacted, and I don't think the legislature gave much thought about that. So as your state representative, I'm going to be bringing this issue back to the forefront because there needs to be some adjustments made. Absolutely, police officers need to be trained and qualified and certified, and completely support that. There's no doubt about that. I enjoy going through the training. We do a tremendous amount of training in my community. But for these smaller communities, we need to keep in mind that they have to have response times that are reasonable and legitimate, where they can get people out there when they need them quickly. So that's something that many people behind the scenes may not be aware of, but I know people in New Salem and Petersham and Pelham, they're aware of it because it's really impacting their communities. So please stay tuned to that. I'm going to have some more information about that as we move forward, but that's something that our state legislature needs to take another look at and make some adjustments to the legislation they passed last year. So that's going to do it for this update. I'll talk to you guys very soon, and hope I can earn your support between now and November 8th, Election Day. Take care.